shared.
They're less likely to assault staff.
As long as you don't get those. That Mexican root or whatever.
Well, you got the MS.
Today is opening day for dove season. Dove season?
Girls in those
Opening
gangs
day.
like that, they're out to prove that they're meaner than
Among themselves, historically speaking, so
Pick them up on the way in.
300 bed camp, Phoenix. I was responsible for about 100 women up in Seattle. Then in Victorville, I had another 300 bed camp.
I haven't been dove hunting in so many years.
1,100.
You'd get an elk tag, oh by golly.
Historically, I'm
Excited about that.
they're less likely now. There's a lot of other issues. Relations, staffing, relations.
There's a bunch of those around
Much
now.
worse, really.
There's no limit on them. Yeah, they're big.
It's the mental health.
They're a collared, what do they call them, Eurasian?
Yeah, I think it's Eurasian.
They're a non-native species that's
I'm good. I want
starting
to
to move in on the native population.
Yeah, I need a bigger one, I'm
So
sure.
Fish and Game's trying to get them out. There's no season, no limit. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Well,
There'll always be coyotes. The Indians believe that'll be the last animal. Well, see, you're trying to be a scientist now.
There's no limit on cockroaches either. Well, when you turn on the lights of the shotgun.
I foresee it where there's just going to be cockroaches and coyotes, and the cockroaches are going to be big.
Yeah. Competing with the coyotes.
Well, those Palo Verde beetles down in the valley, they get.
They're big.
I'm gonna lower the elk herd by one this year, I hope.
Me too. I'm hoping that myself. So don't count on me for the first December meeting.
Okay.
I'm going in late October, so
Are
I'm
you?
fine.
My son has that.
Okay, December, so we can reelect you as chair.
That's tough.
That's a bad meeting to not be at. Huh?
Huh? Get your priorities straight.
Yeah. Well, they are for sure with that.
Okay.
deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Which area did you get, Chuck? Oh, here's one right.
Call to order the Tuesday, September 1st, 2020 regular meeting of the Chino Valley Planning and Zoning Commission. Commissioner Meadows, would you lead us in the pledge?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, you may. Commissioner Welker is absent. Commissioner McCafferty?
Here.
Commissioner Pasiak?
Here.
Commissioner Schweitzer?
Here.
Commissioner Metters? Here. Vice Chair Armstrong?
Here.
Chair Merritt?
Here. Okay, so we'll move forward to item 4A, consideration of possible action to approve the August 13th, 2020 special meeting minutes. Has everybody in the commission had a chance to review those notes? There was a lot to look at. Anybody have any comments or discussion or corrections? I have one English correction on page 5. Second sentence down from the top, far right word. I think that word should be commission and not committee, which is a very persnickety little thing to bring up, but all the words, I decided we needed to read them all. Okay, so anybody else have any thing about it? So I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes.
All right, do we have have a second, a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Do we have any staff reports?
We have a new deputy town clerk, Tracy Lavelle. She is training and will be the one that will take over for planning commission, doing the Aaron's job, probably in the next couple months.
Awesome, thank you, welcome.
Does that mean Aaron's going somewhere?
No, Aaron will be the town clerk. She is, Jamie is retiring, and so Aaron is being promoted to town clerk.
Oh, congratulations.
Big shoes to fill.
Okay, so staff report is complete. So we'll move forward to item 6A, consideration and possible recommendation of approval to town council to amend the existing planned area development, PAD, of the Bright Star subdivision containing approximately 277.42 acres of real property. Mr. Cook.
If you just want to click on that staff report link. Yeah, that's perfect. I did not prepare tonight. The computer was broken earlier, and I had said that I probably didn't need a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm just going to briefly go through. I think most subdivision is located. Several phases of Bright Star have been developed already. I believe this is phase 3, and then this remaining additional phases in the future for the Bright Star subdivision. All of it is zoned MRCL, multifamily commercial light with a overlay. And so tonight we are hearing a consideration and possible recommendation from the Planning Commission for both an amendment to the PAD as well as an amendment to the final plat for this phase 3 section area here. Nothing with regards to the subdivision is changing with design, lot layout, lot sizes, or anything like that. The only thing that is being requested for this amended PAD as well as the amended final plat is flexibility to setbacks, front and side yard setbacks, as well as of a cross-access easement along this border between this easement will go away as the drainage tracks and everything will be able to be designed specifically on that of the subdivision. Staff is recommending approval of the flexible setbacks. So I'm just going to read our recommendations. As the subdivision itself is not changing, there is no change in use. It is consistent with the general plan. It is consistent with the previous PAD overlay. Again, the only change is the flexibility to the setbacks to accommodate the proposed housing constructed there. So staff recommends the Planning and Zoning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to Town Council to amend the existing PAD of the Bright Star subdivision containing approximately 277.42 acres of real property consisting of 91 lots in Unit 2, Phase 3, and one parcel with an APN of 306,02367 to allow for the flexible setbacks and the cross-access easement. As the final, I'll read the recommendation for that as well. Staff recommends the Planning and Zoning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the Town Council to amend the final plat of the Bright Star Unit 2 Phase 3 containing approximately 25.8 acres of real property consisting of 91 lots with the following condition. Temporary access license language on the final plats be modified in accordance with the town attorney's recommendation. So The language for that cross-access easement, we will make sure is legal. And before we take it to the town council, our town attorney will address the exact language that needs to be on that final plat. If you have any questions, I can address those.
Thank you.
On the first recommendation, the APN, the final, could you give me that number again, please? It didn't match what's in here.
Oh, the APN that I have written there is 3060261.
That's what we have in here, but what'd you read when you read it the first time?
That's what I read.
You did?
I'm pretty sure I did.
No.
Oh,
That's
well,
okay. That's right.
sorry.
That's correct for what's in there.
yeah, that's the large parcel here.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're good to go with that, yes? Commissioner Madler?
Most of this was done before I got on the commission. Are the rest of the phases in Bright Star got the same 15 or these 11-foot setbacks so that it's from the garage to this curb, 20 foot?
Yeah, with the PAD amendment, it would affect all future phases as well.
But I mean, have the prior ones?
No, so he is, and Mike Fan is in the audience today, so if you have questions for him, he can, right, he can answer that as well. No, so the setbacks that are listed on the final plat are the setbacks that were adopted as part of the PAD. So this is why he's trying to amend the PAD as well as the final plat. So the final plat will list the new final plat, or the amended one will list the new setbacks. And then any future phases that come forward will follow the adopted PAD amendment.
But I'm just wondering, did the other phases?
Does phase 1 and 2 have the current PAD setbacks?
Yeah, every house that was built in there has followed the current PAD and the setbacks.
So
for
phase
that.
1 and 2 do not have these proposed PAD setbacks.
They're all
No,
20 foot.
no, that's right. Because those plats had the setbacks that were required, and we followed the development standards.
Because it just seems like the last 3 subdivisions we've had, they're all asking for PAD adjustments so that they have shorter driveways, which is putting long pickup trucks and SUVs.
Well, it's not shorter driveways. It's closer from the house itself, but the garage is still going to be set back 20 feet from the back of curb. So they'll still have curb to the
That's what
garage
I'm saying,
itself,
is that-
but the house can be closer than that. So
I guess my question would be probably for Mr. Fan, but if the lots are the same and the homes are the same,
I didn't say the homes were the same. I said the lots were the same, and there's no redesign of the size.
okay.
The preliminary plat's the same as it is today.
This is not a
Preliminary is the same as the final, not excluding the size of the lots.
Okay, so the preliminary plat, we're not even talking about a preliminary plat. So preliminary plat was done years and years and years ago. And in fact, after the preliminary plat, they went through technical review and they went through final plat and they recorded this subdivision. So this subdivision is recorded. They can build homes on there today as long as they put in the infrastructure required, the streets,
Following the current PAD setback.
Right.
the reason they're asking and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that the housing product he wants to put on there requires these setbacks.
Larger.
Well, that would be my guess.
That was my question.
Just seems like the last 3 subdivisions we've had is all asking for shorter setback.
Well, I know of 2 specifically that built that into the PAD. Wesdemar Farms only asked for that on 1 lot. That's the 3rd subdivision, but it wasn't for the entire subdivision, and that was for floodplain issues.
So the other 2, Craftsman being one of them,
Yeah.
that was part of their setup.
That's correct.
Just
But
seems
the
that-
density, none of that changes, just the size of the house that's available to be built on the property.
That's correct, and where the house can be built.
Do we have any existing subdivisions where the homes are 10 feet from the property line in front?
In the front?
Yeah,
Well, Craftsman Court is one of them that was approved.
okay.
We've had two that were approved, I believe, with 10-foot front setbacks.
I just don't
or
know.
one.
10-foot setback. but
And
that doesn't
with
mean-
any with interior right side at 5 feet?
Interior, yeah, so there are some subdivisions that have that. Craftsman Court, again, is one of those. Highlands Ranch, I think, has some areas where the setback is pretty narrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
If you have more questions, I can answer those, or, if you have questions for Mr. Fan.
Thank you. Would the owner like to come up and speak before us here, please?
If you have any questions, no problem. I don't have anything to add.
Well, maybe you'd step up here and we'll yell at you for a while.
Okay. Start grilling now. I'll make a, as big a target as I can.
Just please state your name.
Mike Fan with Estrella Vista.
Thank you. So you, Josh, Mr. Cook, gave a good description of what you're trying to accomplish here. And the reason behind it is for the ability to build a larger house on the piece of property than what's currently available.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a larger house as much as some flexibility. You're going to make me show my ignorance here. So the setback requirements is coming directly from Mandalay Homes, who said, Mike, if we continue in Bright Star, we need these modified setbacks so we have more flexibility on what products we put where. The other thing that occurred is on that north side, there's a drainage easement that is consuming some of the ability to keep that house back. So we've got some specific areas that has brought this to light also.
All right. So you're not necessarily bigger, just more room on the property to place things.
I think so. I wish Mandalay was here to answer that direct because I don't know for sure. I think it's the ability on which product goes where and how that product sits on the lot, as I understand it from them.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have questions?
Who's building the houses? Is it gonna be Mandalay?
Sir, we'll open up the public for questions in just a few minutes. So, no questions?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody ask you to come back up to address some of the questions that the audience has?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to open this portion of the meeting for the public. Please step up to the microphone, state your name. You have 3 minutes. Doesn't seem like a lot of folks here tonight, but try to be concise. And if somebody's already said what you want to say, just say ditto of that guy right there and we'll get the message. Be polite, be concise, and I'll give you 3 minutes with some flexibility if needed. Sir, you spoke up first. Would you like to come up to the podium and state your name?
Michael Novak, and I just wanted to know who was building the houses because this is all new to me. That's about it. I knew they're going to build them because I saw the sign, so I was just curious who, because I didn't think Mandalay was building out here anymore.
Okay, so we're going to take that, Mr. Fan, that Mandalay is who you mentioned?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's who we're, no contracts with them yet, but
Okay.
that's who we're working.
Because I bought a Mandalay home and they said they were done building out here. That's why I asked that question.
All right. Thank you,
But
sir.
I know things change.
I hope you're wrong.
I understand that.
Yes, sir.
Name is Steve Hugasian. I live in Bright Star, and I was a contractor back east, and I find that the common areas aren't being taken care of, and you buy a $500,000 home, and it doesn't affect me, but it affects some of the people I know in there, some of my neighbors. And what happens is you have like I say,
Sir, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we can only address things that are on the agenda tonight.
Okay.
Later on in the meeting, we can have you step up and speak when the public gets an opportunity to talk about things that are not on the agenda.
Okay.
We won't be able to do much in answering you, but we can direct somebody to come back at the next meeting with some answers to your questions or direct you to town staff.
Okay.
So I don't mean to interrupt you or be ignorant, but we got to stick with the agenda or we get in trouble.
Okay. All right, fine, thanks.
Thank you.
And if I can interrupt for just a moment, if I can get a spelling of the last name because that
Sir?
will be in the minutes.
Would you spell your last name, please?
HOOGASIAN.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else out there that would like to speak on this matter that's up before the board or the commission right now? Okay, so we're going to close the public portion of this meeting for this item, which would be 6A and 6B. I think we're running them in conjunction. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So the drainage easements that you're talking about, well, and maybe it's actually for the boss back
This might
there.
be.
Those easements, that water's still coming and going on and off the property in the same point. You're just using them, changing the routing for temporarily inside?
That's essentially correct. The license agreement is needed because with the shape of some of those drainage ways, the slopes, to get the slopes we needed, it stretches a little bit beyond the boundary of the original plat onto those future tracks. And rather than try and upset the apple cart, just say we'll fix it next time. And that's what that license agreement's for. It's a matter of a couple feet in most places as far as that goes.
Just to clarify, because some folks are going to wonder about this, that doesn't mean that it's causing an issue to surrounding properties. It's just routing things a little differently on this property.
Correct. It's really a finalization of the design and needing, like I said, just another little bit of room to keep the slopes at a shallow enough grade to make them manageable. They're still fairly steep slopes, but just to be able to construct it and keep the water where it needs to be without, so that it doesn't impact any of the neighbors.
And of course, all the property is owned by the same person, so they really can do what they like with that.
It's pretty easy to get an agreement from yourself.
Commissioner Switzer.
I was just curious, did anything change from the final plat that was approved already that made these changes come up? I mean, it was approved already. The drainage plan was already approved, correct? On the final plat from the...
Yeah, this is a final plat. So it went through the technical review and final plat.
Did something change to make this?
I can't really speak to that. Well,
I would have to defer to the engineers, but it's so close. I don't think I don't have records good enough. That's so far back that I don't have the plans for this phase 3.
Some fresh eyes just looked at it, figured it, fine tune it a little bit.
Yeah, it's the same firm. So just the sheets that were submitted. I do know we did manage to work out an agreement. The original plans didn't call for that last little section that lines up with 2 North to be, it was just gravel, but we worked out an agreement to make it to where the developer is going to actually get a little stretch of pavement there for the dust control on that. So we just modified the type of seal coat we're putting in the subdivision, which I think is a better plan for everybody, and it works out in everybody's favor. So that's the only change I know of, other than, like I said, the drainage. Once you get the numbers down and start extending those decimal places out, we just needed a few inches here and there.
So again, it's not entering or leaving in a different point. It's just being rerouted a bit on the property, and the final plat for the rest of the subdivision development will take that into regard and make sure that that's correct.
Right, and most of it, Unity Road is the road that runs, if you can point up the northeast corner there, that kind of is you see where all the houses are, and then across the road.
That's northwest.
Yeah, you got to go over to, there you go.
Yeah, the blank space, the top right corner of the big blank parcel that's the future phases. Go down a little bit. Down, left. That left a little more. That's Unity Road. So the majority of the drainage is on the right side of Unity Road on the future development, and then runs what would have been 2 North if 2 North would have been built to empty into that big wash. So the drainage goes where it has always been. We just needed a little room to be able to construct the 2-to-1 slopes that we need there.
All right, thank you, because that always seemed to be a big concern in the meetings about affecting everybody else's drainage, but this doesn't look like that's an issue.
No, should release at the natural and historic points.
Great.
In rates.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, so I would like to hear a motion for
Are
approval.
we motioning for both of these at once, or is there additional information about the second one that we need?
I would create one motion for each one, and then just read the motions as they are, the recommended motions. The only thing I would add to the first motion,
The part about the attorney, town attorney.
yeah, that the town attorney. No, that's for the second
That's
one.
the
That's
second
already in there. They look good. They're fine.
So we'll do a motion and vote on that motion, and then we'll go back and do another motion. So we have two separate.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend Planning and Zoning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to Town Council to amend the existing planned area development PAD of the Bright Star subdivision containing 277.42 acres of real property consisting of 91 lots in Unit 2, Phase 3, and one parcel with an APN of 306-02-671.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion that we have? Any questions? All right, I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Sure. Commissioner McCafferty,
Yes, aye.
Commissioner Pasiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Schweitzer,
Nay.
Commissioner Metters,
Aye.
Vice Chair Armstrong,
Aye.
and Chair Merritt.
Aye. And as part of our procedure here, Commissioner Switzer, would you please state your reasons for voting no?
I just believe the setbacks should remain the same as phase 1 and 2 for the whole original plat that was approved.
All right, thank you, sir.
Current PAD setbacks.
Okay, so the motion was carried. So now I would look for a motion for item 6B.
Mr. Chairman, recommend Planning and Zoning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to Town Council to amend the final plat of the Bright Star Unit 2, Phase 3, containing approximately 25.8 acres of real property consisting of 91 lots with the following condition. Temporary access license language on the final plat to be modified in accordance with the town attorney's recommendation.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Another roll call vote, please.
Sure. Commissioner McCafferty,
Aye.
Commissioner Pasiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Schweitzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Metters,
Aye.
Vice Chair Armstrong,
Aye.
Chair Merritt.
Aye. Motion was carried unanimously. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move forward to item 7, non-public. Do we have any of those?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any discussion items?
I have a question for the developer.
So we
Just
do have-
curious about our last meeting when we effectuated those changes to the UDO with
You
the,
mean the subdivision regulations?
yeah. Has that been before the council yet?
No, that goes September 8th,
Okay,
next Tuesday, and
okay.
we did track down answers to all of those questions.
That's all.
Seemed like a lot of them when I read the minutes too.
Nah, it's all right.
Okay, any other discussion items? All right, so we're going to move forward to item 9. That gives you the opportunity, sir, to speak here in just a minute. Or that gentleman back there, I'm sorry.
Looks the same.
The public comments, this is the opportunity for the public to address the commission on any issue within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda. Not on the agenda. Public comment is encouraged. There's a lot of other words here, but basically I'll give you a little bit to speak, more than 3 minutes if necessary, and then we will be done. We can't answer anything except maybe direct town staff, but we can come back later with some answers at the next meeting if the staff can't deal with it in the meantime. So would you like to step up? Just let them know your name again.
Steve Hugasian, and from Bright Star. Like I said before, the common areas, I think, should be addressed. You buy a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 home, and right outside your wall, it looks like Fort Apache, the Bronx. I mean, it's just there's nothing there. All it is dirt and weeds. And I think it would be an asset to the whole community. It doesn't affect me because I'm not in front of one of those areas. And we're not talking a lot, and all told, you're probably talking a half to 3/4 of an acre with all the areas. And to stone, even if they just came in and stoned it, anything, but it looks bad. And I think maintenance wise, it would save a lot of money in the long haul for the association.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Josh, is there anything you could have him come talk to you about?
Some weeds are a code enforcement issue. You can contact the town code enforcement. It sounds like a majority of the problem, though, is the HOA needs to be out there maintaining the private space, and that is as an agreement that you signed when you purchased the home. You signed the HOA, the CC&Rs, and that HOA board has a responsibility to maintain those areas. That's part of why you pay dues.
I'm talking about visual looks.
Correct. That would also be the HOA's responsibility. If they are not maintaining those areas, you do have some legal recourse. You can get an attorney. It would be a civil matter between you and the HOA board, though.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Cindy Hugasian, and I also live in Bright Star with Steve. Okay, thank you. And I'd like to know when the construction starts in Bright Star for these new homes, if there's going to be a specific route for the trucks, all the construction vehicles, the subs, anybody working on these new homes, or if they'll be driving up and down through all of the roads in there.
If the commission is okay with that, I'll just speak with her after the meeting and take care of her concerns as far as that goes with Public Works.
I think that would be wonderful. Would that be okay with you, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. Anybody else? All right. So we're going to close the public comment portion of the meeting and move forward to item 10, which is a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second. You have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right.
Ever been an objection?
Thank you, folks. Thank you, public, for coming. Helps us keep from being lonely up here.
I just want to ask you a question before you go.